When it comes to Vasily Lomachenko, Shakur Stevenson's opinion is crystal clear. The Ukrainian star may have racked up a plethora of titles, but he's limited in terms of skill. With his bold statement out there, we can only wonder what kind of fight will happen if Stevenson ever meets his rival in the ring. But is he right? Let's find out about that and more in this video. First up, what did Shakur Stevenson say about Lomachenko? Shakur Stevenson has a lot of respect for Jamaine Ortiz and his performance against Vasily Lomachenko in their June fight, but he is not willing to give too much credit to the Ukrainian champion. In a recent interview, Stevenson insinuated that Lomachenko is limited in skills and not as skillful as people make him out to be. He believes that Ortiz's performance gave a false impression of Lomachenko's abilities and wasn't due to any impressive technical prowess from the Ukrainian fighter. Stevenson believes that what made Ortiz appear skillful was simply Lomachenko's overall lack of skill, indicating that he is much more tough than talented. Whether you agree with Stevenson's assessments or not, one thing is certain: the lightweight division has some intriguing matchups in store. Up next, why is Stevenson suddenly targeting Lomachenko? Shakur Stevenson is on the move, and he's got his sights set on championship gold. After a successful run in the super featherweight division, Stevenson has decided to make the jump up to lightweight, which will give him more opportunities, including potentially facing off against current WBC kingpin Devin Haney. However, Stevenson may have to face off against Vasily Lomachenko first, and the WBC has ordered him to enter the title eliminator in order to become the next credible contender. While Stevenson is up for a challenge, he's having difficulties finding opponents who are willing to take him on. That's why Stevenson is so eager to take on the Ukrainian star. He wants to prove that Lomachenko is not as skillful or talented as people make him out to be, and he believes that Ortiz's performance against him in their June fight only gave false impressions of his abilities. On top of that, he could potentially become a champion one day. Coming up, is Lomachenko overrated? Lomachenko is a truly gifted fighter, and he's certainly done some amazing things in the ring, but it might be time to dial back on our expectations of him a bit. After all, while he has impressive wins over quality opponents, he's also come up short against guys that he should have been able to handle with relative ease, and his last performance was far from spectacular. People think Lomachenko is overrated because, for all of his blazing hand speed, impeccable footwork, and legit power, not to mention the plentiful accolades from fans and media alike, he has lost to two fighters that he is clearly superior to in almost every single way. Not only that, but his lackluster win over Jamaine Ortiz at the end of October was far from convincing. He's also 34 now, and he's come up 3 weight classes. Maybe age is becoming a factor, but it's possible that all the hype has been misplaced and Lomachenko just isn't as great as many think he is. Whether or not this rings true remains to be seen, but it's hard to ignore the fact that he has been outdone by two opponents who shouldn't have stood a chance against him. So for now, it's probably best to consider Lomachenko as a great fighter, but maybe not one of the all-time greats just yet. Next, Lomachenko is all set to face off against Devin Haney. Devin Haney and Vasily Lomachenko are in the process of making it official, a matchup between two elite boxers for the undisputed lightweight world titles. It's almost certain that on May 20th, we'll see those two fighters go toe-to-toe against one another. Haney, who has been waiting in the wings for several years, is ready to make his mark on boxing history. He's already shown he can back up his talk by traveling down under and beating Kambosos Jr. comfortably last year to return the belts to America, before then outpointing him again in the contractually obligated rematch. And then, of course, there's Lomachenko. For a while, it seemed like he was unstoppable at lightweight as he held the WBA, WBC franchise, and WBO belts. However, Teofimo Lopez shocked everyone when he beat him in October 2020 to take all 3 titles. But ever since then, Loma has been slowly rebuilding and ready to reclaim his place as one of boxing's best. His most recent victory against Jamaine Ortiz was a disappointing close-run contest for him, but he still came away with the win. It's clear that this upcoming fight between Haney and Lomachenko is going to be something special, a clash of the titans. Both sides have already committed to make it happen, and promotions for the bout are sure to follow shortly. It's definitely one fight you don't want to miss. So mark your calendars for May 20th and get ready for an epic night of boxing. Up next, Mickey Bay says Lomachenko has no chance of beating Haney. Mickey Bay believes that the former 3-division champ Vasily Lomachenko has absolutely no chance of beating the current lightweight champion Devin Haney when they face off in early 2023. His opinion stems from Loma's recent lackluster performance against Jermaine Ortiz, which has made many people question the Ukrainian fighter's ability to still compete at a high level. Bay, who has been training Haney since he was 20 years old, says that not only is Devin more mature and talented than Loma at this point in his career, but that he also possesses the necessary size advantage to take down the two-time Olympic gold medalist. What makes this matchup even more interesting is that Haney was the one who originally called out Lomachenko when he was only 20 years old. He knew early on in his career that he wanted to challenge and beat the very best, which makes him a unique fighter compared to most young boxers who are content taking easy fights until they grow older. Bay is confident that when the two meet, Devin will rise to the occasion and prove himself as one of the top pound-for-pound boxers in the world right now. Aside from believing that his client can defeat Lomachenko, Bay also believes Haney should receive full credit for fighting him. He points out how boxing is the only sport where people write you off after one poor performance, and that Lomachenko should be praised for taking on a tough younger fighter like Ortiz. Bay knows that if Haney does go through with this matchup, then it will certainly be an interesting fight to watch. It's clear that this matchup is going to be one of the most highly anticipated fights in years. Coming up, why Lomachenko versus Haney could be a massive blockbuster. Since the dawn of time, or at least since boxing has been around, fans have always craved that one big fight between two marquee champions. It's like a contract written in the stars. It just needs to be fulfilled. Thankfully, our hopes and dreams may finally come true with a showdown between three-division champ Vasily Lomachenko and the reigning undisputed lightweight king Devin Haney. This is exactly what boxing needs. It's no secret that Bob Arum, promoter of both fighters, has been pushing this fight for a while now. He's just passed halfway through a multi-year deal with ESPN that includes 5 events and other programming. With Arum's help, it seems that the haggling to get these two huge stars in the ring is practically a non-factor. Although Haney won his belt in the WBC back in 2019, he wasn't taken wholly seriously as a champion until he dethroned the previously unbeaten George Kambosos Jr. in June of 2021 with a wide decision in the first get-together. It wasn't until he repeated the feat this month that it was legitimized, piquing the competitive interests of Lomachenko, who had held his own WBA and WBO titles before losing to IBF champ Teofimo Lopez. It's also worth noting that Lomachenko has won 3 in a row since then, stopping Masayoshi Nakatani in 9 rounds and outpointing ex-champ Richard Comey over 12 before beating the 26-year-old Ortiz, who has been 16-0-1 since 2016. Now he's ranked first among Haney's contenders by both the WBC and WBO, and 3rd and 4th by the IBF and WBA respectively. Lomachenko versus Haney could be an unprecedented blockbuster in boxing, and that's why it needs to happen. More on that, David Haney lists 3 possible locations for the Lomachenko fight. The Loma-Haney fight is almost among us, and the champ narrowed the potential venues for this highly anticipated matchup down to 3: Saudi Arabia, New York MSG, or Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. David Haney would like it if he could get this fight in before Ramadan starts in March, but if he has to wait, he'll take it to the summer in May. Haney's got a lot of respect for Loma, who came out of a 10-month war zone layoff and still managed to win his fight against Jermaine Ortiz back in October. But even though Lomachenko has been winning at lightweight, Haney feels like he's not a real lightweight. He, like many others, noticed that at their face-off after the Ortiz fight, Loma was a lot smaller than he expected. Top Rank has been pushed for Haney-Lomachenko to happen, but they may be better off making it Haney-Stevenson instead. At 25, Stevenson is younger and somehow more experienced than the older 34-year-old Lomachenko, and with Haney's promotional deal with Top Rank about to end, they want to make sure those 4 titles he's been clinging on stay in the family. And finally, Eddie Hearn predicts who will win the Loma-Haney fight. Eddie Hearn has an interesting prediction when it comes to the upcoming Haney-Lomachenko fight. He believes that Devin Haney is in a good spot to win, citing ring rust and age as factors for why he must be favored over Vasily Lomachenko. Hearn also believes that the timing of this fight is perfect for Haney. He has been gaining momentum, and with his size advantage at lightweight, Hearn makes him the favorite in this bout. However, he also acknowledges that Lomachenko is a great fighter who could turn it on at any moment. He clearly tried to be diplomatic with his prediction, but it's also clear that most boxers thinks it's gonna be a big fat dub for Haney. Could Loma prove them wrong? We'll just have to wait and see. That's a wrap for this video. Do you you think Vasily Lomachenko is overrated? Let us know in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.